happens if we take around the globe, not around only when it's in our country, we see that there are different kind of land formation. There are certain places where we find plain. There are certain places we find the chain of hills. Even in hills, if we look at, there are certain hills where we find different kind of weather altogether. You find it comparatively very cold. There are certain hilly areas where if you go, you find the weather normally comparatively warmer. So the land formation have different attributes, different characteristics. And very interestingly, uh, we since we are in India, and while growing, we have talked about Himalayas. We have been told about Himalayas. But there is very interesting thing. I was reading somewhere that initially, millions of years back, these Himalayas were not in existence. There was some sea. So, could you throw some light? What was that sea, and how actually this entire uh, development has taken place?
If we look long back, like about 100 million years ago, we cannot see any existence of Himalayas. Like at that time, though life did not exist, but nobody could even imagine that Himalayas will ever exist. Not only Himalayas, but one shocking thing, nobody could even think that 7 continents will exist. Because there was a time when all these 7 continents, they were a circular, or if not circular, an irregular circular kind of thing, and they were all connected together. Even today, if we see the continents, we can see that if we observe carefully, it is like a puzzle in which one continent fit with the other continent very nicely. We do not face any problem in that. So when all these continents, they existed in a puzzle form, they were known as uh, Pangea. Okay, the term we used for that landform was Pangea, and it was surrounded by an ocean, a water body, not an ocean. It was just a water body that was known as Panthelassa. Gradually and slowly, the movement inside the Earth took place, and the Pangea, it broke into two parts. Upper portion came to be known as Laurasia, and basically the lower one came to be known as Gondwana. And in India, it is formed from Gondwana. And it will again be very shocking to know that India, as we see today, it is at a certain position if we locate it in a world map. But at that time, it existed near Antarctica. India was as cold as Antarctica, even much more. So, again, gradually and slowly, the disturbances took place inside the Earth, which caused the shifting of not only India but various continents. And gradually, the two land masses rather, I must say, not land forms, the two land masses, they broke to form 7 continents that we see today. So the upper portion, it formed North America and various other continents. The lower portion formed Antarctica, Australia, and other portions. The sea, the water bodies that we talked about, that was Panthalassa. Panthalassa, when the Pangea broke into two forms, there was, usually we see when we break something like this, we see a very thin, fine line that it gets created between the two objects. The water from Panthalassa entered that place, and that came to be known as the Tethys Sea. And it is that Tethys Sea which existed between India and Asia, like India, Tethys Sea, and Asia. It is that Tethys Sea which subduct to form the Himalayan mountains. So the Himalayas that we see today, it took millions, more than 100 million years to form Himalayas from that Tethys Sea. So it includes a very long process. Even one more shocking thing, that the earth on which we are living, this crust, it took more than billions of years, more than hundreds billions of years to form this plate on which we are standing today. It was actually a liquid. Today we are seeing it as solid, but when we go back to the geography, we see the history of geography of India. So we see that it was liquid, and it was liquid gaseous form. So that was all about how Himalaya came into existence.
That's very, really interesting. Then it must be having a very interesting process through which these that FSC have emerged or given a path to formation of Himalayas. So Could you tell something about the formation, the process of formation of Himalayas? How from Tethys these Himalayas have emerged, and now we see that entire length of Himalayas reach.
Sure. Uh, if I connect it with history, the father of history, Herodotus, he is known as father of history. He once said in one of his statement that history should always be studied geographically, and geography should always be studied historically. So if we go back to the history of Himalayas, the geographical features Himalaya, then we will see, as I said before, that India, Tethys, and we had Asia. The oceans, they have oceanic plates, and the continents, they have continental plates. Like any land will have continental plates, and water body, oceans will have oceanic plate. If we compare both the plates, then oceanic plates are a bit heavier, or we can say continental plates are a bit lighter as compared to oceanic plates. Reason being, oceanic plates are basaltic in nature, and continental plates are sedimental and little granitic form in nature. That is why, as compared to oceanic plates, we can say that continental plates are little lighter. So it is a very natural phenomenon of physics or science, or we study that when we take a heavy object and when we take a light object, the light objects come upward and the heavy one sinks down. So when we talk about continental plates, when like this is a continental plate and this is a continental plate, when they collide, two phenomena take place. First is, like, not necessarily they will always collide. The thing that I want to explain is the two phenomena that take place are convergent and divergent. Like either they will converge or either they will diverge. But when we talk about oceanic plates, the phenomena of subduction takes place. Like this is a continental plate, this is an oceanic plate, and the oceanic plate will subduct. Okay, it will go down. Why? Because it is heavier in nature. Why heavy? Because it is basaltic in nature. So this similar kind of thing happened for the formation of Himalayas. Like we had an Asian continent, like here is Asia, here is Tethys, and here is India. What happened when the continental crust, continental plate of Asian continent, when it collided with the oceanic plate of Tethys, the Tethys subducted. Okay, and when we see about the internal structure of Earth, we are very well known with the term called magma, which is a hot liquid inside the Earth's surface. Usually, when volcanoes they erupt, the magma comes out in the form of lava. So that magma, before just above it, we will find a layer known as asthenosphere. When we study the structure of Earth crust, mantle, core, then we find a layer asthenosphere, which is very hot. So what happens when the oceanic plate? It is very heavy. So when it will sink to the fullest, to its fullest extent, and it will touch the asthenosphere. And in that asthenosphere, what will happen? First formation that will take place above the surface will be when the plate will subduct. It will have some sediments. What will happen? These sediments will get collected over here. Like if I show this, we can see a V shape over here. What will happen? The sediments will they will be like you can say collected over there. The sediments will be collected, and the Tethys Sea, which is subducted now, it will touch the asthenosphere, and the leftover sediments are there, and the sea and other minerals that are present in it, they will melt to form magma because it is very hot inside. Okay, so that will take place of a magma. That is why first information that I would like to give is Himalayas are fold mountains, and fold mountains are mostly volcanic in nature. So whenever we see a fold mountains like Himalaya, this was the first process that happened. Like a little mountain shape was seen over there. Then. Himalayas were not as high that time as they are today. A little portion, like we can see that okay, it is a mountain. That was volcanic in nature. Later period, what happened? Now, by the time Tethys Sea is seen no more. Okay, now it's subducted. That is why it is said that Himalayas are formed at the place of Tethys Sea because Tethys Sea subduct and the sediments along with the continental plate formed a mountain-like structure. Next thing what happened, now when the sea is not there, here we have Asianic plate, here we have Indian plate. Now these two plates will collide among themselves. And when they will collide, if we compare India and Asia, it is very normal for us to say Asia is bigger landmass and India smaller landmass as compared to it. So what will happen? This is Asia, this is India. So the condition that emerge will be the heavy plate. We cannot say any plate heavy or because both are sedimentary in nature. But one of the plate, when it will go down, Since it is not as heavy as oceanic plate, it will not reach till asthenosphere. If it will not reach till asthenosphere, it will not melt. It will not melt, no magma will be there. As a result, what will happen? It will stay there where it is. It will subduct, but it will not down as the continental oceanic plate wins. Now, what will happen? The magma of the oceanic plate, it will definitely try to come out. But what will happen? We have a blockage over there. It will not be able to come. And after some times, even if it come out a little, when we study deeper geography, little deeper concept, we see there are some mountains or plateaus inside the river bodies. Why they take place? They are volcanic in nature because volcano inside the ocean they erupts, lava comes out, but because of the cold temperature of ocean, it settles down immediately. So that was some procedure like that. So what happened slowly and gradually, the magma it could not come out, and as a result, the volcano could not erupt. That is why the volcano ceased to exist. If it is a two-way process, that is why a very unique phenomena we can see that Himalaya is one of those handful of fold mountains that do not have volcanoes. So this is the reason. Basically, if in one line we have to summarize what is the reason why Himalayas do not have volcanoes, it is because in that convergence took place twice. First between oceanic plate and continental plate, second between continental and continental.
Wonderful. Uh, when we study this geographical structure, rivers have their own place, and that's very important too. And like we have River Ganga, which originates from Gangotri, Yamuna from Yamunotri, and likewise. That is very interesting thing about Brahmaputra because it's considered to be one of the largest river, and we all know that how uh, strong flow it carries along with, which originates from somewhere and then in one country and then goes to another place. Could you throw some light about this Brahmaputra's origin and
Brahmaputra, if first of all, if we talk about any river, not only Brahmaputra, if we talk about any river, the first and foremost thing, if we even forget about river, if we talk about any living being or anything that we see, a question comes in our mind: how does it exist? From where did it come? So the question that arises in case of river, we say it as a mouth of river. Where is the mouth of river and where is the outflow of river? Like from where it is originated and from where it is flowing, draining itself into. So if we talk about Brahmaputra, it comes from Cheonyungdung Glacier. The name of the glacier is Cheonyungdung Glacier.
which is somewhere in China?
No, it is not in China. It is in India.
Okay.
But the name of the glacier is Cheonyungdung Glacier. And Brahmaputra, being one of the largest river, it's if we see its course of journey, Brahmaputra is a river which passes more than 4 to 5 places, and in fact includes more than one state in which it passes through. So if we see its course of journey, it even goes in Bangladesh. It comes till Arunachal Pradesh. So it has different names. River Brahmaputra is known by different names. Like till Arunachal Pradesh, it is known from a different name. After Arunachal Pradesh, it passes the Yongla Pass. So from that pass, it starts joining its tributaries. The tributaries start joining Brahmaputra. So the first tributary that we see, like for any river, if we stand in the direction of that river, we can tell that whether it is a left bank tributary or they are the right bank tributaries. So if we talk about the tributaries, then the first tributary that joins Brahmaputra is Dehang, River Dehang. Then we have River Dibang. After that we have River Lohit. After River Lohit, we have River Dhanashri. After River Dhanashri, we have River Kopi. So they form the downward portion, the near southward portion, south tributaries of the River Brahmaputra. If we see about the northern tributaries of Brahmaputra, then if we start from the west direction, it is Tista River. Tista River. After Tista River, we have River Jaldhaka. After River Jaldhaka, we have Redka River. After River Redka, we have River Sankosh. I actually do not remember. Yeah, Sankosh. River Sankosh we have. Then after River Sankosh, we see a little. And from that, After that gap, we again have a set of three rivers. River Manas is there. We have River Manas. Then we have another river, that is River Kamei, and then we have another river that is Dhanshri or Sundarshri, something like that. I do not remember the exact name. So we have like those river which lies in the north. This was the journey of Brahmaputra when it is in India. After it leaves India, it falls into Bangladesh. Bangladesh, the name of the river changes. In fact, our holy rivers Ganga and Yamuna, their name also changes when they go to Bangladesh. River Brahmaputra in Bangladesh is known as Jamuna, and river Ganga in Bangladesh, it is known as Padma. If then this Padma and Jamuna, they form a river known as Megha. They do not form a river known as Megha. Actually, we have a river Barak that flows from Manipur to Bangladesh. That river Barak is known as Surma in Bangladesh. When that Surma river joins Padma and Jamuna, that is Indian Ganga and Brahmaputra, they form a river known as Megha. That is how that river is formed. And river Jamuna, river Megha, and river Padma, they form a very marshy area from a very famous where very famous delta, Sundarban delta. They are formed at that place, which is famous for Sundari trees that we see today. So this is what all about the course of Brahmaputra river from India to Bangladesh. Likewise, if we also see about Ganga river system, so in the formation of one river, there are many tributaries that require that we have. A single river cannot have a very big course of journey because we need some small rivers to combine with it so that it can have a long course of journey. Likewise, Ganga, it has from Yamunotri, it has river Yamuna. From Gangotri, it has river Bhagirathi. It has river Mandakini. It has river Nandakini. It has various Prayag points like Dev Prayag, Nand Prayag, Mahasangam, we known as call it Prayagraj. So all these flow after Prayagraj, the flow of river Ganga starts, and more than 4 to 5 rivers they combine to form the flow of river Ganga. So likewise was the case in Brahmaputra. So this is how
Wonderful.
the journey
Thank
goes.
you.
Thank you.